going to focus, for the sake of this example, on inquisitiveness. And I'm going to show you how we just naturally move through the KONOS living and focusing on one specific character trait, and how the other character traits, once we've already lived them, come into the character trait we're busy with, which is an example for you to see why it's important to understand that as you grow and live with KONOS, it becomes more and more natural, and it's less intimidating, or might be a bit difficult to grasp this whole learning lifestyle approach. But for the sake of these examples, I'll stay on inquisitiveness and show you how the rest will just weave in and out of it. As I've said before, don't be overwhelmed by that. I hope that you'll slowly begin to see the picture just unfolding. So while studying inquisitiveness, we went into quite a lot of depth and detail about explorers. We studied Vasco da Gama, so our South African history suddenly started just coming into it naturally. We could have studied one of the explorers, Christopher Columbus, for example, which is what KONOS suggested, but we chose to rather focus on South African history at the time of this particular study. And so the children built these little ships, well, these big ones here, these cardboard ones. Again, I needed to assist Jamie quite a bit with that. And they also built these little Viking ships. They made the bottoms out of clay. So here they were doing arts and crafts. And the reason why they did Viking ships was because we decided that as we were studying explorers, we would look at our own heritage. And we looked at the Norwegian settlers and the Vikings and the whole history of the Vikings. And so we did a lot of study of geography at that time. From the Norwegian, the Vikings going across to Greenland, and the discovery of the lands there and who they were, and we studied culture as well. I'll just now put on another illustration of some Zulu huts which we made, which also brought culture into our studying, as we studied the explorers coming into the Natal coast, Vasco da Gama coming into the coast of South Africa. Not the Natal coast, sorry. That was the Norwegian settlers I was thinking of for that minute. But what is wonderful is that when you're living with your children and learning with them with KONOS, you know everything that you've been discussing in the day and sharing throughout the day. So it becomes a natural progression throughout your living to just continue in a learning lifestyle, because you all have been on the same topic. You're all studying the same topic at the same time. Now, when we were doing this, building these ships, although I helped Jamie with his, when it was something that he could get on with on his own, I would be sitting reading to them a history book. Perhaps it was a history book on Vasco da Gama at the time, and we'd put him up on our timeline, on our KONOS timeline. And what was happening here is that we didn't just study history and geography and explorers and navigation. We studied disease, the different diseases that these explorers found that they encountered on the ships. And so immediately that went back to stewardship, where we remembered, because we had already done stewardship, the importance of nutrition, and how it was because they weren't having enough priority on nutrition in their journeys, that the people were getting illnesses that could perhaps otherwise been avoided. And the hygiene and the caring of the whole facilities in the ship was not according to being good stewards of our bodies and caring for them.